Hi, my name is Colette, and I am by no means a vlogger, blogger, YouTuber, but I did want to come on here and make a video and just sort of document my experience with having a microdiscectomy on my L5S1. Um, Mostly in part two because when I was in the hospital and learning that I needed this surgery, I was frantically looking online for information on this or looking for people who were sort of in my demographic, my age range that maybe had experienced this, and panicking for lack of information on what life would look like for me after this and what the recovery process would be like and how quickly I could get back to the gym or living my life. I have a very demanding job. I'm a hairstylist and an educator, and I'm on my feet a lot all day long. And I was looking for people who maybe resembled living the same lifestyle as me. In my lifetime, I've only known one person who had this surgery, and that was my aunt. And unfortunately, she's not here anymore. So I had nobody to ask firsthand what kinds of things I might be experiencing. So if I can possibly help just one person ease their fears or get some information, if it's something that you have to have as an emergent surgery or it's something that you're contemplating because you've been living in this pain, then I'll feel good about that. So I just want to start by talking a little bit about my experience, and I am obviously aware that everybody's going to have a completely different experience. As I've researched and I've seen, some people have been living with this pain for a very, very long time. And if you are one of those people, my heart goes out to you because this has not been easy. When we went into lockdown, I had a back flare up, and this is something that I've maybe had 4 or 5 times in the last 6 years. I actually had a really bad fall down the stairs in my old home, and it took me a couple months to recover from that. And everybody that I went to, chiropractors, doctors, said, "Oh, you're fine. You're young. You'll recover just fine." And nobody ever did any X-rays or examined it further. But I did notice over the years, if I would sit for too long, it seemed to flare something up. Or certain moves at the gym, like cable kickbacks, that seemed to kind of trigger it, maybe just for a day. The worst times were when I'd be sitting traveling over, long periods of time, as I was on the road a lot over the last few years, and it kind of seemed to take longer to recover. So in those times, I was seeing chiropractors, massage therapists, and stretching seemed to help it go back to normal within a week. But this time it flared up when we went into lockdown, and it was no one certain thing that I did. It was maybe just because I was sitting more than normal because I'm so used to standing on my feet all day, like 8, 10, 12 hours a day sometimes. And it just didn't go away. So that time it happened, it was shooting down my leg. My leg went numb, which would resemble what most people call sciatica. But something inside of me knew that this isn't normal. This isn't anything I've experienced before, and it wasn't going away. And of course, I had no access to anybody. So I was able to see an emergent chiropractor, and it didn't help. So I kind of came back home and let it heal up on its own. It got a little bit better, like the numbness, and I could actually walk on my leg. That went away, but the pain was still there, and it was in that sacral joint, and it shot through my glute, and sometimes it went down as far as the back of my calf, but that was pretty rare. It was mostly just through that sacral joint and in through my glute. And I called my doctor. "You're fine, you're young, go get a massage." But deep down I knew something was really wrong because we were going on months of this not going away, and nothing I did was working. like the previous times that I had experienced this. So luckily for me, I had to have a physical done with my doctor, and she sent me for an x-ray, which came up with nothing. And by this time I had to go back to work, and I'm on my feet all day long. Obviously, if you guys have hair, you know that when we came out of lockdown, one of the first things people wanted was haircuts. So I was extremely busy at work and just had to jump into it, was still living in this pain. And I continued to go to chiropractors. In total, I saw 3 different chiropractors, and I saw 2 different massage therapists, and I also saw 2 different physios. One who was just a regular physio, and one who specialized in pelvic floor, because at that point I started exploring possibilities that maybe it was stemming from something else, like my psoas or something going on inside. And I kept seeing all these people spending literally thousands of dollars on treatments, and I had no answers, and no one could refer me. You know, I tried to call my doctor again. She spent less than 3 minutes on a phone call with me and was like, "Go get a massage, you're fine." And at that point, I'm just lucky that my mom works in a medical clinic back home, and she had the nurse practitioner call, and she put me on diclofenac, and that seemed to take the pain away. It eased it a little bit, so I was able to go on, and the physical therapy with the pelvic floor specialist seemed to be helping. So I was doing really, really great. I had about 4 great weeks here in, I guess it was October, like September, October. And I've been progressing, and I could feel the pain going away, and I thought, I'm getting better. I'm going to be able to go back to the gym soon. And she sent me home with some stretches, and something about those stretches in the hamstring just irritated me. And the next morning I woke up and I could not walk. The pain was shooting down my leg fiercely. It was worse than what I had experienced back in April. So I went to a Mediclinic because I thought, this is not right. This is something seriously wrong. I need to have some imaging done. And that doctor said, this is sciatica. You're going to be fine. It's going to go away. And I was crying in tears, and she's like, stop crying, you know, you're young, it's okay. And I came home, and there's an app here where I live in Saskatchewan called Lumica, and I was able to go on there, and she was like, yeah, you know, maybe we need a muscle relaxant, and prescribed a muscle relaxant, and that knocked me out for the day. And I woke up, and when I woke up, I could not feel my leg or my foot. My foot was completely numb, and excruciating pain shooting all the way down my leg, and to the point where I was screaming. And I know I have a high pain tolerance because I had an appendix rupture, and as it was rupturing, I was kind of like, something doesn't feel right. And I had to have surgery for that. And I know that I can handle quite a bit of pain. And at that point I was in tears and screaming in agony. So went to emergency, and after, advocating strongly, like, something's not right. The drugs they were giving me was not masking the pain whatsoever. So saying, there were people in and out getting tests, and I thought, I am not well. I'm really not well. I'm in a lot of pain, and I know everybody's here struggling with something, but I couldn't even lay down at that point. I actually could only sit like at a 90-degree angle, so sitting and then my upper body over. So it was a nightmare. They did do an x-ray, of course. Nothing showed up. They did an ultrasound. Nothing showed up, external or internally. And so then the last option was MRI. And as soon as they did the MRI, they knew it was a herniated disc. And at that point, I guess it was really, really bad, because a neurosurgeon came in to talk to me, and he basically said, I have no option. He said, you can go home, but you'll have to come back in weeks to get this taken care of, because this is not good. So imagine my surprise that I'd be going into surgery within the next couple of days. I am so grateful because I know I hit the jackpot with surgeons. I immediately felt calm and at ease around him, and there was something that just intuitively knew that he was amazing, and I was very lucky. It was almost like the universe lined it up that I would be there and this would be the guy operating on me. So for him, I'm very grateful. And he actually made sure he was the one who did my surgery because he knew I was very upset. I was extremely worked up about this, and obviously, at a young age, you don't want to hear you're having surgery on your back, and especially when you don't know anybody who's had that before. So, that's how this all kind of happened. And at that point, he was able to do the microdiscectomy on me very successfully, and as soon as I got up into the hospital room, apparently, I vaguely remember this, I was able to hop up off the bed and walk to the washroom by myself. And the next day I was discharged and came home. So I'm on week 3 now, and I'm feeling really good. I just want to kind of go through those first few weeks and talk about what that was like for me. And I'm hoping I'll be able to do some updates as my journey continues, and I'm hoping to start physiotherapy this week, so I want to keep you guys posted on that. Week 1, when I came home, I won't lie, that was the hardest, biggest nightmare for me. I kept thinking to myself, why me? Why me? Why did this happen to me? Although at the same time, I was very grateful because I do know that tons of people have this pain and sometimes live with it for years without getting the MRI done and knowing what it was. I think because mine seemed to be so large, or I know it was, I had the intern come into my room and she said to me, it was the largest one I've ever seen, so I'm really happy you got this done, which after the fact I guess is okay, but kind of a scary thing to hear. When they did wheel me down into the OR, I did see it hanging on the wall, and I'll tell you, it didn't look like the ones I had seen on Google Images, so it was pretty big. So when I got home, I'm so grateful. My mom and my sister were here to help me and do basically everything for me, and I was crying a lot because there's nothing worse than feeling immobile and like you can't do anything for yourself if you're stubborn like me and want to do everything for yourself. My pride and my ego were totally shot that I had to rely on other people to do things for me, get me food and give me medication. And for the record, I just want to let you guys know, the only medication that I was taking when I got home was regular extra strength Tylenol and the diclofenac that I had previously been on for pain management. And I alternated it so that I didn't max out on the recommended dosages. So nothing stronger than that, which I think that's a good sign that I had a really amazing surgeon, and pain was minimal. And yeah, I don't like putting stuff into my system. I don't even like taking Tylenol. So knowing I had been taking all these things for these months, it's, worrisome, but I'm glad I didn't have to take anything stronger. And so week 1, not good. I think also coming off of all those drugs that have been in your system and all that anesthesia and just feeling so cloudy and foggy, like you can't think. And it was just an emotional roller coaster of like, I can't do anything for myself. This is not what I wanted for myself. And I was really having a pity party. And you know what? If you have gone through this or you are going through this and you are feeling sorry for yourself, you're not alone, and that's okay. It's okay to feel sorry for yourself. Just make sure you reach out to people that love you and care about you, and the ones that are going to dust you off and tell you that it is going to be okay. You will be okay, and this is probably the best thing that could happen for you. By week 2, I was moving around, and I made a point every day to get up and kind of shuffle around my place. I was moving really, really slow, and it at times felt like, oh my gosh, how am I ever going to get past this? Walking so slow and I can't do anything. But the walking felt good, and every day I felt a little bit stronger than the last. So week 2 felt really, really strong. still couldn't do anything for myself. I needed to rely on people, obviously, to come and clean my place and make some food for me and just take care of me in general. And like I said, it's not easy when you don't like relying on other people for help. So I want to say one of the best things I had when I came home was this memory foam pillow, because it's so structured. So being able to put it up against a wall or the couch and having that structure, and even for my head, so that I didn't want to roll around, because I'm a roller in my sleep. So if you are going into the surgery, something I would recommend having at home is a memory foam pillow if you can, and also additional pillows to put between your legs when you are sleeping at night or laying down on your side. And I was constantly rolling over, putting them between my legs and then under my legs, just to kind of elevate your legs while you're sleeping. So that's a recommendation from me. And yeah, so I'm on week 3 now, and I'm moving so much better. Every day I do my stretches, so twice a day at least. Knee to chest stretches, hamstring stretches. My hamstring is still very, very tight, and my foot and leg are still numb. I noticed that the nerve is regenerating, I think, and I'm not a doctor or scientist or don't claim to be, but I get these burning sensations in my feet, and usually within a couple of days after that, that seems to be like the numbness goes down just a little bit more each time. And I will say last week on week 2, I had nerve tingling moving all over my lower body and lower region. And that was very, very uncomfortable, but I do believe it was just my nerve regenerating, and you're going to get those sensations in different areas as far as I'm aware. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, but I do strongly believe that that's what it is. So burning feet, numb feet still, but it is going away. That's week 3. So you know what, I'm just happy that it's going away, because it was very uncomfortable the first week or 2 walking on that completely numb leg and foot. Hopefully, because my leg and foot they were only numb for about, I guess, 5-6 days before I received the surgery. I'm hoping it doesn't take that long to regenerate the nerve. There's so many different guidelines or recommendations or suggestions on how long it could possibly take. So, but yeah, I am hoping to start physio this week. The hospital didn't arrange it for me, so I had to line that up myself. And I'm seeing someone who specializes in post-op surgeries like this, and also with athletes, which is important to me because the gym is a huge part of my life, and I don't want to do anything that might jeopardize me being able to A, go back to work and stand on my feet, B, go to the gym, C, this surgery. I do not want to experience this again. I want to recover fully from this. So I want to see somebody as soon as possible to maybe give me some suggestions on when I can start walking a little bit longer, or doing additional stretches, and then eventually leading up to some weight training. So I am going to keep it at that for now, and I will keep you guys posted on what happens with my appointment this week and what week 4 looks like. So thanks so much. Bye.